This is it. The first real derby of the season. 3 minutes and an entire world apart. Rivalry, competition, and Clarendon pride on the line. Former champions Glenmuir High, noisy neighbors Denbigh High, in a battle of grit and wills. Right now.
Welcome to live schoolboy football action here on Sportsmax, the home of champions. Today's matchup is between three-time DaCosta Cup champions Glenmuir High and Denbigh High School. We are at the Juicy Football Field in the parish of Clarendon, and the temperature here is 27 degrees Celsius. And as you can see, we have some light showers. My name is Shawana Ebanks, and it is my pleasure to be with you all today. Now, if you remember, Glenmuir High is the last DaCosta Cup team to have won the All-Ireland Olivia Shield title. So this team, they have history, they have class, and they have talent, and I am pretty excited to see them on display today. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor, what about you guys?
Thank you, Shawana. Well, it's a battle between neighbors and arch rivals as Glenmuir hosts Denbigh here at the Juicy Field. Rain is a commodity we're used to in the parish of Clarendon, not to mention heat. Will it cook up a contest to remember? Well, we're in the hilly interior of the island of Jamaica, and this matchup is expected to be rugged terrain for Denbigh High. They'll be seeking to register just their second win in a 15-year period over a team with the bragging rights, matchups, and pedigree. 3 DaCosta Cup titles to the name of Glenmuir, and in the past 8 meetings, however, it's been pretty one-sided, Chris.
Yes, certainly Glenmuir have dominated Denbigh, as you mentioned. Just that one victory which came in 2013, as you see there, 1-goal victory for Denbigh. They haven't seen success apart from a draw in 2015, a 1-all draw, and it's really been a one-sided affair. And based on how this season has started, even though Denbigh did get a victory in their second game, a 1-goal victory, Glenmuir certainly have been piling on the pressure in this group, scoring some 12 goals already. As we can see the results so far, Glenmuir beating Belfield by 3-1, and then a 9-0 thrashing of Fogar Road. Then they drew with Fogar Road 0-0 and then beat Porus by 1-0. So certainly we're expecting Glenmuir to dominate this matchup, and it could be interesting under these rainy conditions.
Yeah, it is a top of the table clash today. Glenmuir on top of the standings with 6 points from their 2 matches. Denbigh with 4 points, although they will be disappointed with the fact that they drew with Fogar Road in their first encounter, and Fogar Road, of course, going on to lose by 9-0 to Glenmuir in their opening game. Glenmuir, of course, they've won 3 DaCosta Cup titles. They traditionally wear red and white on the field of play, the footballers, but the school colours are in fact maroon and white. And Glenmuir, they'll be seeking to get a 4th DaCosta Cup title this season. They were founded in 1958, and they have a population of about 1,200 at the school. Let's hear from their camp.
Coach, 2 games so far and 12 goals. What does that say about your firepower up front?
Well, it says that we have total strength overall. It's not just the ultimate thing of finishing, but it's how you build the attack from behind. So we are playing total football, and that is bringing us wonderful rewards.
Now, you had some problems at the start of the season getting your squad together. What is the status of the team now?
Well, we are about 95% there in terms of having our team at full strength.
Glenmuir have won 3 DaCosta Cup titles. How would you assess your chances this year?
Well, first of all, our chances are good, and we are always playing to repeat what we have done on 3 occasions, 2004, 2006, and 2012. And I am hoping that we could put 3 together this year.
Sounding good. Now, will the rain affect your chances today?
No, we are an overall team, and we have prepared rigorously, and we are prepared to play under any condition there is. If you want to be champion, you must be able to play under any condition.
Well said, Coach. Thank you so much. All the best.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you see the Glenmuir team together, and of course their captain is Warren Simpson Jr., and he is our player to watch. 18 years of age, he usually plays at the left side of the defense, and if his coach wants him to, he sometimes plays on the left side of the midfield, and he's the son of the assistant coach, Warren Simpson Jr.
Yeah, good player, young Simpson Jr. And as I mentioned, in his 5th season at age 18, so certainly very experienced for this Glenmuir team, and they'll be relying on that experience to take them through to maybe what could be a 4th title and the first in 5 years.
Denbigh, of course, neighbours to Glenmuir. They basically are 3 minutes apart. Founded in 1969, Denbigh High, blue and white, the colours of the school. They haven't won the Costa Cup title, but they did reach as far as a quarter-final stage in the year 2006. Let's hear from their camp as they prepare for this game.
Glenmuir on Tuesday delivered a 9-goal blow to Fogar Road High. How sturdy is your defense going into this game?
Well, we are depending on our overall team concept. We wouldn't just place our focus on defense. We are going into the game to play total football.
Well, Glenmuir is 3 minutes away from Denbigh, so this is considered a rivalry. Does that push you to just be more than just noisy neighbours?
Well, we try to be up for every game. We know Glenmuir is just up the road, and they're considered a powerhouse in football. And you know, we try to match up with those powerhouses, and we try to win every game that we approach.
How would you assess your chances here today?
Well, our chances is pretty good. If you're coaching to just be safe, then that's not a good concept. We always try to win the game. We always push forth to compete as best as possible.
Thank you so much, Coach. All the best.
Thank you.
Well, one of the players to watch, their number 12, Kimani Scott, also plays on the left side of the defence. He's the number 12 there on the screen of play. And obviously, one of the players, very skillful, and they'll be looking to him to lead that back line.
So yeah, another left back, this one in his 4th season, Scott, and he's a captain as well, of course, has played 2 games so far in this season, and he'll certainly be looking to be very influential for this Denbigh team, who I think is actually up against it, against a strong Glenmuir unit. So
it's raining here in Clarendon, as you see the Denbigh players just saying a word of prayer as they get ready for a massive encounter for them. Because of the rain, we're not expecting a massive crowd here, which is disappointing for a local derby. We anticipated the atmosphere to be rich and thick, but Denbigh, of course, probably they would have been buoyed by that. Glenmuir, you see their captain leading the line, waiting on Denbigh to join them on the sidelines before they make their way onto the field of play, and they'll do so now. Again, both teams anticipating a really interesting contest today.
Yeah, certainly it should be a good contest, but as we mentioned, Glenmuir in the red have certainly dominated this fixture over the years, as we can see the officials getting ready. Just having a look at the lightning as well and the weather conditions. Of course, it is dangerous play if there's lightning close by, and I think they're taking note of that. The main referee, Winston Fagan, and his assistants, Deron Lewis and Joshua Jackson, as the 3 of them lead this posse out. And Glenmuir, of course, 12 goals for and just 1 against. Denbigh yet to concede so far this season, but just 1 goal to their name, and that came from the boot of Luton Herdsman, who will be wearing the number 9 for Denbigh. So certainly interesting matchup, and Glenmuir will certainly go in as well as favourites. Of course, Glenmuir will be playing a 4-4-2 formation, pretty attacking, pretty traditional formation, and Denbigh going with a 4-3-3, also a very attacking formation with the 2 wide forwards as well as the central strikers. So good matchup, good to see that both coaches looking to attack, looking to get goals. And obviously from the results, you can see who's been scoring most of them.
Denbigh, by virtue of the formation that we have seen, they don't look overawed. Glenmuir, of course, they'll be seeking to make an impact, make a statement in this contest as both captains meet up. It's a clash of the 12s. Kimani Scott from Denbigh, Warren Simpson Jr. from Glenmuir High. Referee Winston Fagan is the man in charge of today's game, and he's going to be assisted by Darren Lewis and Joshua Jackson. The referees will make their way out to the middle and make sure that all is in place as we stand by for kickoff. What would possibly go into the minds of the players at this point in time? And put your shoes particularly, put yourself in the shoes, in particular the Denbigh players. Many of them pretty young and will be facing a formidable opponent.
Yes, certainly, and this should be the toughest game as we see the Glenmuir squad there again. I mean, goalkeeper Johnson, and we see the captain there, Warren Simpson Jr. Look out for him in the number 12, and of course Javane Thompson up front, the number 10, and Ronil Harris. So they're coached by Patrick Jackie Walters, the well-known coach who has led Glenmuir to all 3 of those titles that they have won. Of course, the interview was with the assistant coach earlier, but certainly the influence of Jackie Walters will be very serious, and he will be expecting good things from the Glenmuir team. That is the Denbigh team that you're seeing in the full white with the blue socks, just trying to keep warm. Of course, the conditions here are very cool at the moment, and here is the Denbigh team again, led by their number 12, Kimani Scott, and look for Luton Herdsman, who has the only goal they have conceded so far, but seem to be pretty organized defensively so far, Denbigh, and this will be their biggest test yet against probably the strongest team in the group.
It is the top of the table clash, and on a few occasions we've seen Denbigh come out of this group, and it's another season where they'd want to make a statement, but Glenmuir, I reckon they've already made a statement with that 9-0 drubbing of Fogar Road. Denbigh were just able to draw 0-0 with Fogar Road in that matchup. They admit that that was a lost opportunity, but they'll be hoping that they put up a very good showing here. It's going to be interesting to see how Glenmuir treats this. They usually like to dominate possession, but they have to do some defending at the moment, and they do so pretty well. Donald Thomas intercepting for Glenmuir. Jay Atkinson, number 7, is expected to play over the right side of the midfield for Glenmuir High as they try to transition now. He's a dangerous player, Javane Thompson.
3 goals so far this season for the Glenmuir number 10. Their leading goal scorer is Ronil Harris, though, who will be wearing the number 17 today. He has 5 so far.
This is a Jay Atkinson over on that far side. Just a couple of players inside the box, but he's been pressed all the way by Kareem Bryan, who does well over on that far side for Denbigh. Not sure if we're going to be seeing this type of football all day with a long pass of field looking for a key minute from Denbigh, but it could possibly be an outlet that we'd have to get used to over the next 90 minutes.
Yes, certainly. There's a bad pass coming out again, but Glenmuir will be looking, as I mentioned, to Harris and Thompson to make up for the loss of young Ennis, who was a part of their team over the last few years. 20-goal man last season. Young Ennis, very speedy character, and that would have been a big loss for this Glenmuir team. Thompson
is pretty speedy too, and he sends it over to Ronil Harris, who is the 5-goal man. Can he give it in play? He cannot. Expect those two to link up from time to time. They are very good together. That's Patrick Jackie Walters. He's the head coach of Glenmuir High. Led for a couple of years to Clarendon College. Helped them to win the Da Costa Cup in 2014, I believe it was. Then said job done and came back to Glenmuir. That's what legends are made of. Again, looking for Thompson inside the area. Was he pulled back? Well, there wasn't an appeal from him. Denbigh trying to settle. They're having some difficulty getting out of their half and into the attacking third. And back there doing the defending is Stephen Nelson, the number 22 for Glenmuir High.
Pretty heavy outfield this one as well. We saw that when we were in Montego Bay last week in terms of the heavy outfield. Probably the rainy conditions will help the ball to slip along a bit, but still heavy grass. You can see when when the players are moving the ball forward. And as I said, the rain will help the greasiness of it, as they would say.
They don't want to give Atkinson space for the pass. That pass almost went awry. Glenmuir trying to press forward, and Jovain Thompson getting the last touch. It goes into touch for a throw to Denbigh. Beginning to see a pattern, Chris, in how the teams have shaped up. Denbigh obviously not too shy, but we don't see them pressing forward in numbers as yet. Probably they're just a little bit meticulous. Thompson lays it inside. Good find to Wellington. Wellington deciding to go wide, trying to get some space to cut back inside. Wins the corner for his team. He managed to take it short. Atkinson lays it back outside. He needs a good cross inside the area. Robbed off the ball was Javaris Wellington. The captain getting a rear touch so far. Finding Thompson, who decides to send it out wide. Nelson to Atkinson. There he is. Back to Nelson. Nelson likes using that flank, sends the ball inside the area. Not cleared properly. Big chance for Glenmuir to take the lead. And they do. It's their number 10 who puts them in front. Jovain Thompson scores. And the former champions with the early lead. And that's his 4th goal this season. And they've come to the party early, Glenmuir High. It's 1-0.
Yeah, good finish by Jovain Thompson. And I was just about to say that Denbigh had been defending well. If you notice, they're playing a 4-3-3, but they still got 10 men behind the ball. And a good move through the middle. And good skill there by Thompson, as you mentioned, very nifty with his footwork. And that was good composure to slot it into the far corner. No chance for goalkeeper Lewis. And they expected Glenmuir with the early lead.
It's really now going to test the resolve of Denbigh High. Glenmuir, they haven't conceded this season.
Yeah,
well, they did concede to Belfield. Of course, winning that contest by 3-1. Here they are coming forward once more through Donald Thomas, trying to skip by a second challenge. Taking their time about this attack as Lewin plays it further right. Atkinson couldn't really get there, but he's battling with his teammate Ronil Harris to try and get that one. They concede the throw.
And to give them the credit, as I said, just before they conceded the goal, I'd noticed that even though they're playing a 4-3-3 formation, 10 players behind the ball when they are defending, really looking to consolidate. Unfortunately, the skill and movement of the Glenmuir players opening up the channels, and that's what Jovain Thompson used to get that goal in the end. Some good skill to get past the players.
Would it be maybe a long afternoon for Denbigh High?
Could be, as you notice, Glenmuir using both flanks. They're not afraid to go left and right, so really pulling the...
Well, here's the captain forward now. That's a good looking cross inside the area, headed back out behind for a corner kick. They do attack in numbers, and the captain usually comes forward in some of those attacks, stretching the play. As this one is laid all along the turf. It's another opportunity for Jovain Thompson. Just couldn't keep that one down. They're looking to get the second goal, his second goal of the contest. That's Kevrel Stewart, the head coach of Denbigh. He has a lot on his mind right now.
course, as you mentioned before, 3 Da Costa Cups for Glenmuir, 2004, 2006 and 2012.
Glenmuir has had some really good teams in the past few years, haven't they?
Yeah, certainly they've been a team of the present.
Remember one team with Conan Lehman in 2004. And then they had another team with James Thomas as the keeper getting into the action. Must have felt a little bit left out.
Hadn't won any schoolboy titles before 1993, Glenmuir, so their history is reasonably recent in terms of schoolboy football. 1993 they won their first Ben Francis title. Won it back-to-back, in fact, 93, 94, then 99. And then 2004, 5 and 2009 the last time they won that title. So 5 years since they have seen some silverware.
Atkinson getting on the end of that one. Oh, he has pace, but that's a good challenge coming in from the skipper, Kimani Scott.
Had a good unit as well last year, Glenmuir. I just don't think they had the depth to really go deep into the Da Costa Cup competition, and it showed in the end.
Good movement, beautiful one-touch football that just ended there with the interception as Ronil Harris was trying to play his teammate through. This is Minot committing the foul there.
Denbigh, on the other hand, they had their best showing in 2006, making it through to the quarter-final round. But they've made it through this zone on many occasions, Denbigh, or I should say quite a few occasions. That's the inter-zone round they've made it to, but haven't really progressed other than in 2006.
They usually have it pretty difficult because at odd times the likes of Garvey Massey would be in this group. So especially when Garvey Massey is in this group, it would be usually Glenmuir, Garvey Massey. Although there was that one occasion just a few years back where they actually got the better of Garvey Massey in the group. I think Garvey Massey had finished 4th. It was a disappointing year for them, former champions. Denbigh had finished 2nd behind Glenmuir. Here's another long ball to Donald Thomas. Thomas just losing it. Tion James picks it up, does well in beating his marker, trying to find the pass along the right channel, and does. Herdsman couldn't get the cross inside. Warren Simpson Jr. with the clearance, the headed one. As far as the halfway line, Denbigh will start again. This is Kareem Bryan. Needs some support. Gets it in the form of Tion James. Although they couldn't maintain the possession, Denbigh High. The captain has it now, Simpson Jr. The coach's son sends this one long. Looking for the goal scorer in Thompson. Nothing doing there on that occasion. But expect another red wave. Atkinson on it. He'll keep it in play. Gets by one. Atkinson, beautiful movement. Oh, the pass was overweight. Too far in front of Ronil Harris. And Malik Lewis having no problems there. Wellington gives it to his captain. Well, they do have a lot of space, don't they? Donald Thomas plays it inside. Simpson with a shot was always curling away from the near post.
Yeah, I actually think he was aiming for the far post, didn't get it right. Actually got good pace behind it, just didn't get the direction. But again, Glenmuir causing problems because they're constantly moving. It's not necessarily that they're a lot quicker than the Denbigh players. It's their movement off the ball that is creating the space. And they're getting behind the defense of Denbigh at the moment.
Well, Denbigh will get a corner kick right now. Good work there from Alvin Strawn. Getting across, putting in the sliding challenge. Although conceding the corner. Denbigh, they don't look bad at all. But I suspect that they were a little bit unfortunate in conceding so early. Although in a sense that's a bit fortunate because they have enough time to launch a comeback. They need a good cross inside the area from this corner kick. It's not the best. And Glenmuir could counter. Can he keep it in play? He can. Does really well, the goal scorer Thompson. Cuts inside and then back outside. Oh, he's skillful. Not getting as much support as he would have liked. Sends it all the way across. He was thinking for the shot, decides against it, decides to play it to Atkinson, did Kevin Lewin. Atkinson gets a throw for his team. Atkinson leaves it for Nelson, who's thinking about going long. Oh, that's a beautiful ball upfield. Oh, that's a lovely challenge again coming in from Alwyn Strawn, denying Luton Herdsman. And now it'll go the other way, where the flag goes up for offside.
That Herdsman showed a little more quality in that instance. He might very well. Here it is again. Oh, it was a good challenge. Good challenge there. And based on where the goalkeeper was positioned, had that challenge not been made, Herdsman might have been able to loft.
As you see the shot coming in from distance from Javane Thompson, but no problems there.
Might have actually been able to loft the keeper because he was well off his line. He was almost in no man's land. And that ball nearly went through. It was an excellent challenge by Strawn. Could easily have been timed wrongly as well.
Yeah, he had to get it really right. Much easier to collect on that occasion. Xavier Johnson. Ball played upfield. And that good movement there, twisting, turning, trying to get the shot off. Go behind for a goal kick. Kevin Lewin, Stephen Nelson finds back Strawn.
As you can see there, the possession 67. Sarah Donald, 67% in favour of Glenmuir. So certainly enjoying all of the ball, which is what we've seen. Being able to move the ball left and right, using both flanks, pulling the Denbigh players wide.
Neat little play there. Seems like the Glenmuir defenders not afraid to play high up the field. Because sometimes the Denbigh attackers get that little bit of space to work with, but they haven't really capitalized on it because they're usually closed down so quickly before they can make a mark in the attacking third. Here they are again. What can they do with this attack? Rookwood gets a throw. Bryan. This is Kareem Bryan, forced away from goal.
I actually think that throw should have gone the other way. A little bit unfortunate for Denbigh. I think the coach picking up that as well.
Yeah, he would have seen it. Donald Thomas. Good movement there from Atkinson. 2 players waiting. Decides to play it back to Wellington. Wellington forced away from goal, or the late challenge coming in. That was pretty reckless. Not sure if a card will come out though. The referee just telling him to cut it out. And Shane Barnes would like to heed that warning as we see the challenge coming in. He was late by some distance and he was behind the player. So that was always going to be dangerous. Free kick to Glenmuir in the 19th minute of play. They've sent, what, 5 players inside the box looking to get to the end of this one. It's floated high and long and not proper connection on that one from Ronil Harris. Harris is wearing the number 17 today for Glenmuir. Previously he wore the number 8. Thompson. Good work there by Neil Williams. This is Tion James. Simpson Jr. doing well in reading that play. Thomas. Thompson. Harris saw that late, but he does well to win it and gets the free kick, and now the yellow card will come out. Kemar Whiteley will go into the referee's book. Yeah, pretty late.
Yeah, that
Easy
was a
call
poor
there for the
challenge.
ref.
Yeah. Poor challenge by Whiteley, reckless. Ronil Harris just throw the ball away from him pretty nicely and looking to cut back inside.
Well, that was pretty poor in the end. Although there was a deflection on it. So it's a corner kick. Denbigh, the defenders, almost looked a little bit confused there, but it's a corner kick. Wellington is going to take it himself. Again, it's high and long, looking for the captain. Not cleared properly and trying to turn and shoot Kevon Lewin was always going to be difficult, especially in these conditions. Ball skewing well wide of the target. Kemar Whiteley getting the yellow card just to confirm that. It's running a bit heavier now at the Juicy Field. Glenmuir with the lead, but they have to do some defending now. With a horizontal run, Kareem Bryan. Bit of a hesitation at the back there, but in the end, Johnson comes out and collects. Hurls it out to Atkinson. Glenmuir through Wellington, and now Thomas back to Wellington. Thompson unable to let fly there. Now the long ball of field, again the keeper hesitant. Reaches it just in time though for the clearance. Flag goes up for offside.
A little bit surprised that he didn't just allow play to continue. Referee Fagan. Denbigh did have the ball.
Mills sending it wide to Atkinson. Glenmuir in control of this game.
And their touch is just a little bit better done. I think that's been the problem with Denbigh so far. They do have players when they get forward. They have 4 or 5 players, but the touches have not been good, and they've allowed the defenders of Glenmuir to get toe pokes and so on to them.
That's a good ball. Well, almost perfect. Just too far in front of Javane Thompson.
Again, there was inaccurate passing from the Denbigh team, giving away the ball, and then they have to work so hard to get back the ball that they really need to treasure their possession.
Harris gets the corner. He's a handful. He is.
5-goal man this season, Ranil Harris. Pretty skillful. Does a lot of running down the channels. 3rd corner for Glenmuir.
This one is sent in high at the back post. Couldn't get behind that one. Stephen Nelson comes out as far as the captain, Simpson Jr. Sends this one in at the back post. The keeper didn't want to be caught unawares. Had his eyes on it all the way. And collected neatly in the end, did Malik Lewis. So much quick on the ball, this Glenmuir team. They are dominant with the possession. What a ball that is. Can he convert? That should have been his 2nd of the game.
Yeah, that was young Thompson there. And based on what we've seen in terms of touches and ability so far, you'd have put your money on him to bury this. I'd like to see that he actually decided to try and score with the left foot on this occasion. Ball came across, allowed it to roll across his body, did try with the left foot, couldn't find the far corner. One stage I thought he might have cut back onto the right and then try and bend it around the keeper's far side, but good attempt nonetheless. Beautiful delivery, and again that movement from Glenmuir, creating the channels and the openings in the Denbigh High defence.
Trying to rush to play, they almost lost possession, and now they do. Denbigh High. Donald Thomas. Lewin.
I don't think you'll have a problem remembering that name.
No, not really. Atkinson with a pass upfield looking for Thomas. Donald Thomas does well. The defender not as well. Did he keep that one in play? It comes across. Big chance! It's easy now for Ranil Harris. Harris on the score sheet. That's his 6th this season. And Glenmuir running away with it.
Well on move, Jackie Walters, and that's because it was very scrappy and too easy. Just given away by the Denbigh defenders. And then look at this tackling by the centre-back. He's got to be a lot stronger than that. And just too easy. The ball delivered in should have been collected by Malik Lewis, the keeper. And good hustle by the leading goal scorer for Glenmuir, slotting it with the right foot. Too easy though for the team in red.
Glenmuir 2, Denbigh 0. And Denbigh will be feeling the chill of the afternoon a little bit more. It's a free kick that they have. Taken and collected by Xavier Johnson. Couldn't keep his footing, but did make a righteous pass to Thompson.
The two Denbigh attackers almost looked like they were leaving the ball alone for someone else. And none of them made an attempt for it. There were two who seemed to have beaten the offside trap and didn't even attempt to get ahead on it. I think the goalkeeper in the end was a little bit surprised, Johnson.
Because he did collect it low, and I suspect that he didn't anticipate collecting it that low.
But as you mentioned before, the reaction time of the Denbigh players is a little bit slower. Their awareness is not as heightened as the Glenmuir team. That could be experience, that could be confidence. But they're always second to the ball. And it's almost as if they're being caught on the back foot and then they're reacting instead of being proactive. And I think that's one of the things that the coach will say to them at half-time. You have to believe, you have to look like you want the ball, like you belong here. And just a lack of organisation so far for this Denbigh team. They almost look lost on the field.
And with them just reacting, it's never enough time on the ball. Denbigh with their second corner. Not the best delivery there. Couldn't get by the first man. There was a little bit of a push in the back there, so it's a free kick to Denbigh. In an interesting position. Let's see if they'll have a good delivery on this occasion.
Brian has been one of the best, one of the highlights for the Denbigh team so far. He's looked a bit more competent than the rest. Let's see what he can do.
Brian sends this one inside.
It's a pretty good delivery as well, Daniel.
Yeah, it was. Stubborn defending there. Again, it's Strawn who's had a good game so far at the back for Glenmuir. Look who's here. It's a Stets coach.
Rambo Wedderburn.
Omar Wedderburn is in the building. Stets having a day off. And I suppose that he's looking at the opposition for the interzone round of the knockout stages.
AKA Rambo. As he's more called than not.
I think his players call him Rambo.
Of course, he would have been. He's in good spirits, as you can see, coming off of a 5-0 victory. I actually think St. Elizabeth Technical have the strongest team this year. And for me, they're favourites for the 2017 competition, but the season is young, we'll see. Of course, I'm sure Jackie Walters will have something to say about that.
Well, there is a reason why he's here today, right? Obviously, he sees Glenmuir as a threat, and working them out from early would be to his benefit. Oh, what skill, what movement from Wellington. Almost didn't complete it, finds his captain.
I would like to think that any schoolboy team Jackie Walters coach is a threat, so you better pay attention.
I just like the fact that he just went about his business for a couple of years to Clarendon College and then won the Costa Cup there. Oh, that's just brilliant from Wellington. That's a good-looking cross. Oh, well, too far in front of Herdsman, I believe, over on the far side.
But if you could see on your screen there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in and around the 18-yard box for Denbigh. That's a good sign. The ball was not accurate. But it's good to see that they are coming forward. They're playing with 3 up front. But as I mentioned, the touches, whether it's the touch to control or the touch to pass, it's just not been the best so far from the team.
Which is sad, because this would be one of the better surfaces that they'd play on. So it would be, you know, it would utilize your skills best.
It'll be mostly even.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, mostly. The ball does roll nicely across it. It is a bit heavy, but I think the rain has helped it to slide across the surface a bit more.
Good find, but that pass was overweight from Donald Thomas. It's going to be a goal kick. See them trying to keep it along the turf. Raheem Harris was trying to get on the end of that one. Wonder why he chose to wear the number 17 today. Did he imagine that a foreign coach would have been here in scouting the top players for Glenmuir?
No clue. Did wear what, the number 8?
Yeah, and did play the one matter role well, if I should say so myself. He has decided to don the number 17 jersey.
Well, we've heard some coaches say that they like to mix up the numbers, so if someone another coach is trying to track some of the players, they're not able to as easily. Not sure if that really works.
Because eyes don't have facial recognition.
I was about to say.
Wellington, again, he has some speed. Was almost pushed off the ball there.
But I think
didn't even bother appeal.
Yeah. I think what happens, though, Donald, is that a lot of the games are not televised, of course. So you will have someone who goes and watches a game and you say, oh, look out for the number 8 from Glenmuir, or look out for the number 9 from Denbigh. And because of that, they will just associate accordingly. So I think that's why another reason why the coaches are switch up the numbers. Just to try and catch other teams off guard. As I say, I'm not sure how effective the plan is.
Catches us off guard at times.
Telling me.
Sometimes you end up with a different starting 11. Get the feeling that Denbigh, they've lost a little bit of confidence. In the last few minutes, they haven't been able to put the passes together. They are a young team. And I suppose that they will want to learn from this. But obviously not the intensity of past rivalries. The rain has put a damper on things, literally.
And these 2 goals would have been the first that Denbigh have conceded this season, coming off of a 1-0 victory over Porus. Their first game was a 0-0 draw with Fogo
Road,
yep.
Who lost 9-0 right here a couple of days ago to Glenmuir. Football is not purely statistical, as we see Atkinson weaving his magic, trying to find Harris. It's another corner to Glenmuir.
Good skill by Atkinson, loves to dribble. Giving the left back of Denbigh a lot of headache.
Neil Williams, desperate in his attempt to clear as the corner kick comes in. It's a good one. Took the catch right over the head of Javade Thompson. Did Malik Lewis. Kareem Bryan almost lost it. Yeah, that's a foul. A foul by Mario Smith. Simpson Jr. with a free kick. Not in any hurry to go forward, the Glenmuir players. An opportunity here. Well, they do defend in numbers as well, Denbigh High. Strawn again with a clearing header. Now settles with Lewin. Challenge called against Kevin Lewin. Williams with a long ball upfield. They do have options going forward. That wasn't one of them. Referee says play on though, despite the collision. And they do play on. But the defenders are like massive blocks at the back. Cannoning off Stephen Nelson there for a throw. It's been difficult for them to play around the Glenmuir defenders, although they have a bit of an opening here. Didn't last too long. Wellington does really well over on the far side. The captain battling there. Tried to get the cross inside Kimani Scott. Tion James gets a throw. This one rifled in. Cleared out. Big chance here for Glenmuir now. The second touch wasn't the best. Was under pressure to provide that pass and couldn't. Wellington. Thompson couldn't get by that defender. Brian switched to play well. Strawn coming across, committing the foul.
I'm not sure that Coach Jackie Walters will be comfortable with how the team is playing. As we see the infringement there, it was a foul, certainly taking out the legs of Luton Herdsman, the only goal scorer for Denbigh so far this season.
Brian sending this one inside, the keeper coming out and punching awkwardly. Not sure how that managed to go behind him as he tried to punch that one out, but it is a corner to Denbigh High.
Of course, when you think of Glenmuir, you always think of a team that would go far into the Costa Cup, possible championship winners.
Here's a corner kick. They have sent bodies up, haven't they? 7 players inside the box. The keeper comes out, looks awkward. A chance to go in. Yes, it does. They pull a goal back. Denbigh High on the score sheet. He comes across to give his coach the hug. And Othniel Williamson celebrates Denbigh back in the contest.
And I was just saying that Jackie Walters wouldn't be happy with how his team is playing. He certainly won't be happy now. And they've come up with, from what we've seen so far, a pretty weak Denbigh team in terms of how they've been playing. And lackluster at the back. They haven't really showed that energy that we used to see from Glenmuir up front as well. The touches are a little bit off, even though they've gotten 2 goals. And kudos to Denbigh. They have stuck to the task. They still have managed to get players forward, as they have done from the start. Yeah. And that has resulted in a mistake at the back for Glenmuir.
They have not been short of ambition, haven't they? They've showed it and they've adapted. And now they have a goal back. And they may be just riding on a bit of confidence here.
Well, game on. We'll now see what Glenmuir is made of. They are still leading, but this will wake them up.
Yeah, you get the feeling that they're still not out of first gear, Glenmuir High. They were far more thorough against Fogle Road. Get the long ball inside the area. Simpson Jr. managed to get the header on it. The Glenmuir will try to clear. Donald Thomas, taking his time, loses it. And now Denbigh. Now they settle. Wellington. Again, wonderful challenge from Kimani Scott. They have a couple of minutes to go before the halftime interval. Can they get the equalizer? It's a long ball again upfield. Warren Simpson Jr. forced to go giddy up, placing the ball along the left channel, and now the throw for his team. Nice turn from Thompson. That's an even better pass. Thomas on it. Challenge coming in, losing it. Here's Denbigh. Gets by Simpson Jr. Glenmuir, I suspect, shaken. Denbigh trying to press forward. Can they get that equalizer? Looking for options. Sliding challenge. Always dangerous. Throw in to Denbigh. Namari Rookwood take it. Looking to throw it long. Hurls it to the edge of the box. But he should have expected that, didn't. And his team losing out on the possession. No, that's a foul. The Denbigh supporters don't agree. Wellington. Well, that was Atkinson, rather, over on that far side. Again, a lovely ball. Sliding challenge coming in from Williams. Was that Williams? Yes, it was.
Look at how long Thomas took to react, though. The ball was easily in his favour. Almost waited on the defender to come in with the challenge. Not sure if it's fatigue or
laziness.
Or just laziness.
Wonderful turn, but straight to the keeper. No problems there. Jovain Thompson looked skillful in doing that, but he would have wanted to work the keeper a bit more.
Not an easy control. Well brought down. Good contact with the shot as well. Good spinning volley.
All of a sudden, Denbigh looked threatening. Kareem Bryant sends this one long. Good contact is needed. Headed out from outside the area. Still a chance for Denbigh. Number of players inside the box. The shot is charged down. Oh my goodness. Denbigh almost responding emphatically. This is Wellington. Atkinson back to Wellington. Glenmuir at 6s and 7s at the moment. And I suspect that they would be relieved with the fact that the whistle has gone after 45 minutes. Glenmuir managing to hold on to a slim lead here. 2-1 the score over our Tribals Denbigh.
Yeah, good finish to the half for Denbigh. A little bit surprised that the whistle went there. I thought they had about 45 seconds left. They said 2 minutes, but anyhow, it's 2-1 to Glenmuir. Good finish to the half for Denbigh. That makes for a good second half with Williamson getting that. And as we mentioned, Brian, the number 7 for Denbigh, he's been the strongest player in that Denbigh unit so far, and it's him who is creating the opportunities on the field. And Shawana is on field. Let's hear what the coaches have to say.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm with Darren Huss, the assistant coach of Denbigh High. You got that late goal in the first half. How does that change things for Denbigh High?
Well, we have the momentum going into the second half. We started off a bit slow, and you realize the last 10 minutes of the second half, we get back into the game. So we want to continue to press and stick to the game plan. And we hope we get a better start to the second half rather than the slow start to the first.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
All right, I'm joined now by Warren Simpson, assistant coach of Glenmuir High. How much does that goal by Denbigh change things for Glenmuir at halftime?
Well, if you are working with a ratio, then if Denbigh score 1, it simply means that our ratio must go up. So it simply means that we'll be scoring more goals second half than we score first half.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
Welcome.
All right. Warren Simpson there promising more goals from Glenmuir High. We are here at Juicy Park in Clarendon. We're going to go for a break. Glenmuir 2, Denbigh 1.
Welcome back to the Juicy Field in Clarendon. Glenmuir leading Denbigh by 2-1 at the halftime interval, and it has been a pretty interesting match. You probably thought that this would have been one-sided after 5 minutes because Glenmuir took the lead then. It was good movement from Javain Thompson.
Yeah, with an excellent finish as well. Good build-up as we saw. Good ball into the box. A little bit of scrappy defending, and Javain Thompson took his opportunity well. Beat one player with his skillful right foot. Nice little cutting and a composed finish into the far bottom corner.
Yeah, Thompson doing really well there and picking up his 4th goal this season. And then this ball through. And Thompson placing it wide. Could have been his 2nd there.
Yeah, did miss this opportunity. I was impressed though that he decided to take it on the left foot. Obviously favors the right, but was willing to take it on the left. Just allowed the ball to come across him. And unfortunately for him, he kicked it wide. This would be a pretty rash challenge here. You know, and a good ball played in. This, as I say, a little bit of scrappy defending as well. The centre-back coming across, and then a good finish. A good work here for the leading marksman, Harris, with his 6th of the season. As you say, good work here from Williamson, getting the ball across Wellington. And then the finish by young Harris.
Yeah, Ronil Harris with his 6th goal of the season. Then virtually the last, well, this was the goal that they pulled back in the 41st minute, thanks to Williamson. Othniel Williamson converting there for Denbigh. Again, it was pretty scrappy, and it seemed as if Glenmuir was pretty much shaken Well, this was virtually the last attack of the game. That was the first big chance that was cleared out of the area. Should have had a better connection on that one. And at the end of the day, they would have been disappointed with the fact that they couldn't convert Denbigh High. You see the goal attempts there, 5-2 in favour of Glenmuir. Shots on target pretty much the same. And quite a few fouls, Denbigh committing more of them. The possession, Glenmuir having most of it, was 61%. Let's go downstairs to Shawana Banks.
All right, thank you so much, guys. My special guest today is Vice Principal of Glenmuir High, Mr. Denbigh Hayes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Now, how are you enjoying today's game?
A little bit of mixed feelings. I mean, we have scored 2 goals so far. They have pulled one back, but I think the guys are playing very well tactically, and I think we should come out victorious this evening.
All right, now in recent times, Glenmuir have been in the mix in the DaCosta Cup. What is the school spirit like at Glenmuir during the DaCosta Cup season?
The spirit is always high. I mean, you know, we have always been in the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. We have won it 3 times. So, I mean, everybody, you know, is always upbeat when it comes to the DaCosta Cup season.
All right, now let's speak about academics, because Glenmuir High is known for, you know, doing well in academics. What's the formula that the staff use to ensure that academics is balanced by sports, sports balanced by academics?
Well, the students, the players are students first, so we always emphasize academics. You know, the seasons are very long season and they tend to miss, you know, school. So we have something in place that they normally get back the notes. We have a mentorship program, so students who are weak in particular areas, you know, we have other students who help them and so on. So, and the teachers are very cooperative in terms of and are willing to assist them when they come back. And